Welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with our producer, Aldi Niawani. Our special guest today is Socorro head coach, JJ Griego, the top-ranked Warriors, and the got the number one seed. And, Coach, we sure appreciate you joining us today on the Sports Desk.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to the state tournament and appreciate you having us on today.
Coach, you'll take on the 16th seeded Tucumcari Rattlers, and I've had a chance to talk to head coach John Spann today, and he says we respect all, fear none. He's looking forward to the challenges that your teams possess, and it's a lot. And before we go on, just want to give a shout out to one of our great listeners, E. Marie Davis, one of the biggest fans of ProView Networks, always listening in, one of our number one fans. So thanks for your support. Coach. The Warriors are trending upward, man. 10 wins in a row to end the season, and we're always looking for trends at the end of the season. What's been you got Duda Jackson. He's averaging 20-some points, 11 rebounds. You've got a great program that you built there, and of course, everyone knows you're a former Socorro Warrior. Talk a little bit about the success that the Warriors have had this season.
Well, it's been difficult. We came in last year. It was a short year, and I really think. Ed, if we would have had a full season last year, we would have competed for state championship last year. We had a really good group of kids. We just didn't have a lot of time to get our program in place. And this year, we've been able to do it. And the kids have done an incredible job of listening, learning, and understanding what we're trying to do. And for the most part, we're just trying to build a winning attitude there. We haven't been winners for a long, long time, and we're just trying to let the kids know, hey, we can be success even here in Socorro.
Well, you remember, Coach, you had success when you played there. You played in some state finals, and I remember you telling me the front line you had 6'6", 6'7". You were 6'9", and a former Lobo basketball player, and we'll get into that in a little bit as well. But if you look at your schedule, wins against Robertson, right? You did lose against Taos, win against West Las Vegas, and then to end the season. Win against Reserve, Ruidoso, East Mountain, Hatch Valley, Cobre, the defending champs, Hot Springs twice, Hatch Valley again, Cobre, Hot Springs again, and then now you'll face Tucumcari. And again, I always look to teams trending upward at the end of the season, and that's where the Warriors are now. What do you feel? Again, Robertson, 2 wins against Robertson, who's got that guard, Matthew Gonzalez, and James Branch does a great job up there. Talk a little bit about how you had to go through that schedule, and Gallup or Taos you also beat Gallup. That's a big win too. So you've got some great wins on your schedule. You're 20-5 overall and 6-0 in district.
Well, sometimes, Ed, you know what the most important thing about coaching is kind of not to overcoach, and that's kind of been what I've been trying to do. We have talented kids. I think Duda's hands down the best guard in the state. He's got shooting. He's got defensive prowess. He's been offered a scholarship to Highlands. He's going to get a couple more offers before the end of the summer's over. And, he's just a special talent. And I've been fortunate enough to come in and be able to coach him this year and a little bit last year. And just it's a joy to watch him play not because of his scoring and everything else, but because he has made and continues to help everybody else on the team play better and be better as players.
You know what, Coach? You mentioned this about him, and your write-up to me, leading scorer and rebounder and assist guy, right? Overall best point guard and athlete in 3AA. You just said the best guard in the state. You said that, and you're saying regardless of class. And Coach, you've been around the game a long time. So when you make statements like that, JJ Griego makes statements, everyone's eyes are like, shoot, who is this kid? we gotta keep an eye on him.
Well, and I tell you what, I love it, but and I love the fact that we're down in Socorro, and we started out the year, we kind of started on a lull, and the kids. As a matter of fact, our second or third game of the year, I think we played Melrose, and I went up to the kids before the game. I said, "We're going to lose this game, guys," because I saw they weren't ready. And I tell you what, something clicked after that game. And they went, okay, coach knows what he's talking about. And we started playing really well together. And we went through that. We went through the Stu Clark tournament, had a great chance of beating Taos, went through the Gallup tournament, to beat Gallup in Gallup was a lot of fun and a big learning experience for our kids. And we're just looking forward to. Then we had that lull. Now we've been on a roll, and like I've told the kids, we get no respect, man. We beat the state champion 3 times, and our district is has won the state tournament 2 out of the last 3 years, and we every time I turn around, it's the northern district that gets all the props.
You know what? That's up. And you know what? As somebody that played at Socorro, and you had a lot of success there, Coach. You played in the state championship in 1988, losing to Goddard, lost in the semifinals in '89 to Lovington. And Coach, people might forget the seeding was a lot different back then. Coach, talk a little bit about that and how the Warriors had to fight their way through. And you look like, again, Socorro's had some really good players, teams. Tony Valencia. We can go on and on. There's been some great players down in Socorro. But talk a little bit about how it was seeded back then as opposed to how it is now.
Well, yeah, back then they seeded it differently. For example, before the season started, you had one district champion playing against a district runner-up, or 2 district champions going against each other, and it was set in stone before the season started. I remember my senior year, Bernalillo was, I think, number 1 in the state. Then we were number 2 in the state, and we had to play in the quarterfinals of the state tournament right off the bat against each other in Tingley Coliseum, and it was a battle. It went into overtime, and we ended up beating them. And then, to be honest with you, we had Lovington, and then we just ran out of gas in the 4th quarter. So it was a much different. This seeding that we do now is a lot better, and it helps everybody get there, and it's great when there's upsets as well. It's kind of like the NCAA tournament.
Coach, you mentioned that too. It's been a while in Tingley Coliseum playing on the Silver's old home floor, right? The puzzle floor that they used
Correct.
to put together. And people might have forgot that floor, man, but we haven't played the state tournament at Tingley in many years. So when you're talking about Tingley and you had a 6'6", 6'7", 6'5" front line. I mean, you were 6'8", right? 6'9" at that time.
Yeah, I was 6'7". We had 6'6", 6'4", 6'5", but Bernalillo was bigger than us and very athletic. And so, looking back at the years and how many, we had Eric Valencia, Tony's younger brother, came through there and won a state championship, our only state championship at Socorro High. And so we don't really have a tradition of winning at Socorro High as far as basketball is concerned. But we're trying to create one.
Coach, they always say you can go home again, man, right? You can always go home, and your parents still live down there. And you were talking about you commute once about 3 times a week, and you're able to stay with your parents. How is it? Is it returning to Socorro? You're a big star there, man. JJ Griego's got a big name. When you were recruited by the Lobos, you played for the Lobos. That's big down in that town. There's no question about it. How was it, or how is it, I should say, for you to go back home and coaching the place that you played at and had great success?
Well, I did some work down there year before last, and I just it made me realize how much I appreciate the community and how much I appreciated the people that helped me be the man that I am today, and so many of us that have grown up there. So, when I got asked to put in for the job and come on, JJ, come back, whatever, I had kind of been out of coaching basketball for a number of years, and they convinced me to come back, and I tell you what, it's been nothing but enjoyment, and I love being part of the community again. And like I said, watching the kids and the community start to rally up around these kids, especially when nothing was thought of us at the beginning of the year. I don't even think we were ranked. I think we were down in number 12 or number 15 or something like that. Nobody even thought we were going to be a threat. And to see these kids develop the way they've developed, it's been great for the community. And our girls teams ended up with a 6 seed too. So, I mean, both programs are on the uprise.
I'll tell you what, I've been down there to Socorro. I went down to officiate some high school basketball when I was an official. Also for the football team, I believe they're in the championship against Hope a couple of years ago. And the Socorro fans, man, they'll get behind their teams. And it's hard to believe that you mentioned in basketball, they've only won 1 championship. I remember being in that gym and talk about a little bit about the support you received from the community with the success that you've had this season.
Well, it's been wonderful, and as with every small community, especially with the fact that Damian Ocampo has done such an incredible job getting this community behind the football program and building a championship attitude, along with Michael Ogeen with the girls soccer program. It's just been incredible how much the community is now behind us. And at the beginning of the year, we're getting sparse crowds, we're getting a little bit here, a little bit there, and now to see, this last weekend where we had the JV tournament, the girls varsity championship game, and our championship game all on the same day, Saturday. It was incredible to see how many people we had out there supporting our kids, and they were extremely excited about the opportunity.
Coach, it's excitement within the community, as you mentioned, and when you have that kind of success that you're having, I bet you people are the community, as you mentioned, football, soccer, everybody's really excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and in our community, our kids can't play just one sport. They have to play multiple sports. Otherwise, we can't compete.
Come on, Ray.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Socorro head coach J.J. Griego after these messages on the Sports Desk.
Twisting shot, rebound, and denied.
Great hustle by Dial, but great hustle by Alves to stay with it. The other team blocks your shot, just get it back and score like that. Noodles Alves. So
the first quarter, they could not execute and get a shot off. Back to James. Boy, he passed up an open look. Instead, underneath. Defenders both missed, and it's up and in. The layup underneath for Demers.
Absolutely excellent decision there to go.
T. Hill just able to hold it down. Here's Natalia Chavez for 3.
Bynum turns it over. Hill races back to get it. Oh, good spin move. Lays up, and it's good.
Chargers lead under 30 to play. Hernandez steps into a 3-ball. Ring it up, nothing but nylon.
Either can Gabe Trujillo. El Dorado can flip this around, and there it is. I said that Parham can dunk. Parham obviously heard the challenge.
Wade throws it down! One-handed hammer!
A 3-point lead here, 20 seconds remaining in the game. And that three-pointer is good by Brandon Lagunas for his 20th point of the game. 8 seconds to go. Caleb Parham. Fadeaway J. That's good! And at the end of the game, wow! Students rush the court. What a performance.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. Coach, before we go on, I got a little quote from you. Coach Griego stepped in and has given the Warriors some spunk as they went from being a third-place finisher in our district to the top. His presence in Socorro and the sudden success only helps enhance our district as a whole. They're playing at a very high level and have brought a new level of competition. That comes from the defending champs, baby. That comes from Coach Bean at Hot Springs, and I love to death. I love that guy. But Coach, I think when you're around basketball, right? I've been around it a long time, and you get around basketball people, and they can talk basketball for years and days and months. And Coach Bean has a lot of respect for you.
Well, I appreciate that coming from the former state champions, and I know they got a tough road again up above. In front of them coming up this next week, but I think they're going to be they're going to surprise the people. So I'm looking forward to them doing well too, and I appreciate such a it's really flattering coming from such a good coach and good program down there.
He's a good guy. We're taking a look at the bracket here right now. By the way, this ProView seating and selection show, the bracket show, actually was an idea of the late Brian O'Neill, the former Cibola coach who passed away from throat cancer. And, you knew him. I knew him. I love that guy. Every time he saw me, he'd zing me with something, man. He'd get me every single time. And I'd probably laugh as hard as anybody else. And I remember when I reffed his games, Ed, I don't mind you making that call as long as you make the same call on the other end. And I couldn't help but laugh. But actually, he had a lot to do with these brackets. And we've got him up right now. What a great guy. And, rest in peace. He went way too soon.
Absolutely.
But, yes. Anyway, Coach, it's got you against Tucumcari, and then you've got the winner of Crown Point and Santa Fe Prep, and then there's Navajo Prep against West Las Vegas, who you beat. St. Mike's has got a new coach down there. They're against Tahachi. On the other side, San Diego Prep against Cottonwood. Congratulations to Santiago Maestas at Cottonwood. Marcos Rivera, I'm very familiar with him, the former Powaki soccer and basketball star, former assistant to Damian Segura for years, was in the state championship last year. Raton, Santa Fe Indian, Bosque against Hot Springs, Robertson against Dexter. Any of those matchups, you played some of those teams, Coach? Any comment on the 3A bracket?
Cottonwood, actually, like you mentioned, Cottonwood, they came into our place and jumped up and bit us earlier in the year when we were on a little bit of a lull there. And to be honest with you, they did me as a coach the biggest favor they could do because that just gave me motivational speak for the rest of the season. They came in and beat us, I think, by 3 or something like that. And
60-57.
Right, exactly. And so what happened with that one was, I was able to tell the kids, hey, see, anybody can beat us at any time. So let's just we refocused and we were able to go from there. The other interesting matchup I think I saw was I'm trying to increase the size here of the thing. I think St. Mike's is a team to be reckoned with. They're tall, they're athletic, and they play a good, tough 1-3-1 defense. I saw them and Sandia Prep go against each other, and they're very similar programs. I think I'm hoping that we get to match up with them. To be honest with you, Coach, I just didn't want to see Robertson again until the end if we're fortunate enough to get there.
Okay, so you beat them on December 18th, 74-62. You turned around and played them. That was at the Socorro, and then at the Stu Clark, you beat them by 3. and that's at Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, James Branch James Branch is, you compete hard. You hate to lose, right? Coach Branch, man, and we're all the same, Coach. I mean, I would take losses hard for 3 days. I'd wake up like, how did we lose that game? But you played them in a very short span, and that second game you beat them by 3. And talk to us a little bit about that matchup, because you mentioned that's 2 games in a short span. You beat them twice.
Exactly, and as you know, with good teams, if you beat them twice during the year, you definitely don't want to see them in the postseason. And that's kind of what we're looking at with Robertson. They have a good program. They have a good little guard in Matt Gonzalez. They have another kid, I forget his name, but he's pretty lanky and can just jump out of the gym. And he's come a long way for them. And I'm just looking forward to playing and seeing if we can get back to the pit this year, and we'll see what happens. But Robertson's a tough matchup with us because they're very similar to our team, and we battled with them twice this year, and fortunate enough to come out on top both times.
I'll tell you what, Coach, you already know, man. You played against Bernalillo, and the North loves their basketball. That's why I look at Coach Branch. He's been at Espanola Valley. He's been at, I believe it's House as well. I thought he was at House, maybe not. Former New Mexico Highlands player. He's very familiar with the Northern basketball and the way they play it. You guys beat West Las Vegas as well, and so they're on the side of the bracket too. But Coach, one of the things we mentioned, a former New Mexico Lobo, winning 2 WAC championships back to back, and I remember those teams well. Vladimir McCrary, Notch Neves, Greg Brown. You played with some great teammates, and you learned under a college coaching system under Coach Dave Bliss. And Coach Bliss sometimes, people at the New Mexico Lobo. I'm a Lobo fan since '70, man. And Coach Bliss did have some success, and things went a little awry later as far as some of the things that happened later when he was at Baylor. But I just wanted to ask you, what did you learn? He was a disciple of Bob Knight. He was. Right. He coached with Bob Knight, coached at SMU. Now, I'm only asking what you learned from him in prepping as far as coaching. Anything else, we'll leave alone.
Right. I mean, basically, when you get to college, especially D1 level, you realize that there's different types of coaching styles. There's a management coach. There's a kind of a player's coach. And Coach Bliss was very much a management coach. He didn't have a lot of interaction with us off the court, but on the court, he even on the plane, he's always doing his X's and O's and everything else. And I was fortunate enough to work with Coach McCullough while I was there as well. We did a lot. Yeah, John McCullough. And I was able to, I take a lot of my stuff off of, I was fortunate enough because I did a lot of scout team stuff. They always had me I was always the Josh Grant. I was always the best player on the scout team. And so I got to take a lot away from not only from Coach Bliss, but from other coaches in our league and that we played. And I know with Coach Majerus, a lot of people don't like him, but God, he was a genius. He was genius on the basketball court as well. And so a lot of the stuff I run, is stuff that I learned from those from Utah rather than from UNM, because we ran a lot of flex, and a lot of the high schools run flex, and I don't like it, and I didn't like it in college, so we ran something different. Now, defensively, we like to run man-to-man and 2-3 zone. We like to press, which is coming from Coach Bliss's teachings. And of course, my high school coach. I can't leave out my high school coach, Tony Valencia. I mean, the man came on board and took us out of mediocrity.
Tony Valencia's dad?
Yes, Tony Valencia's dad.
Okay, but you talk about the flex, right? Now, Coach Benjamin runs the heck out of the flex at Las Cruces, right? But there's wrinkles and different things that different sets that you run out of that flex. So it's been around since the late 80s, been around for a long time. But you can still have success in the personnel that you mentioned, especially having a guy like Duda Jackson. When you mentioned that, Coach, that he's that good, and it comes from a J.J. Griego who's been around basketball in a lot of different places, that kind of is like, wait a minute, who is this kid? We want to know who he is. You're circling him. I got to see him. I want to see him for myself. But you're learning too, right? And you also got some assistants in Ray Gonzalez and Kenneth Greenwood. And, I'm sure your assistants, you commute once in a while. I'm sure your assistants, how important are they to the development of your
Oh,
program?
they're extremely important to our development. Matter of fact, they're running practice today. We're gonna have a light shoot around and everything else today, and then I'll be back down there tomorrow, and we'll go hard tomorrow and Thursday, in prep for Duke and Carry on Saturday. It's been great with Coach Greenwood's been part of the program for a number of years, and just his knowledge of the kids and letting me know what motivates the kid, what kids get down when I get on them. It's been really helpful.
You know what? You can't always be around. You know, you've got you came back into coaching after being away from it for a while, and it was always in your blood, right? Because you coached at St. Pius, assistant under Todd Rest for a while. AAU coach from 2000 to 2011. You know, I actually helped coach your son on one of those AAU teams. So
right.
It never leaves your blood, though, man. And I can't think of
you always want to coach.
I can't think of a better situation, Coach, for you to go back to where your roots, man. Right? Now, I look at it like Highlands ranked number 1. That's where I played coach. Right? They're number 1 in 4A. Right. Now, when I'm on ProView Networks, I got to go down the line, right down the line. They haven't won a championship in 50 years. Of course, I'm excited about the prospects. You never know. But that's why we're playing the state tournament. One more question before we're going to let you go. What will it take? Again, you saw the bracket. It takes coach, bounces, breaks, a call here, a call there. You've got a great player in Duda Jackson. What will it take for the Warriors to bring home the blue trophy?
Well, really, it's going to take a team effort. You know, we mentioned Duda a lot, but we have a lot of players that Warren Chuiwi, he's been averaging about 12 points a game. Marcus Armijo has been about the same. If we can get 2 or 3 guys in double figures, we'll be great. We'll be fine. And as well as our bigs, we got Jaden Fowler and Damian Greenwood, and our bench has just been incredible. So we have the right formula. And you know, as a number 1 seed, Ed, everybody says, "Oh, you're the hunted." We don't know anything about being hunted. We're going to go out and hunt. We're not afraid of losing. We're not afraid of. We're going to play confident. We're going to play relaxed, and I'm going to make sure that we're hunting other teams, not the other way around.
Coach, you've been there, man. Those words ring true for sure. We got I want to give some love out to our guys at Sports Primo. They'll have some coverage this week. Sandia Prep at Santa Fe Indian School, St. Mike's at Navajo Prep on Friday, and also that's in boys Tahatchee at St. Mike's, Cleveland at Los Lunas, Sandia at Santa Fe, Joe Beta, Amado Abeda, Aaron Abeda, Adam Beal do a great job out there at Sports Primo. I want to give them some love too. Socorro head coach JJ Griego, hey man, it was great visiting with you again. You and I have known each other for a long, long time. And we sure wish you all the luck in your quest to bring Socorro's second championship home. And we wish you all the luck.
Thank you, and thank you for having us, Ed. We really appreciate it.
You bet. For producer Ali Diwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.